Hello everyone, welcome to Easy English for Everyone. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, like and share to receive the latest videos. Now let's study together.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to a story about a very exciting event, Grandpa's Cooking Contest. Many people enjoy cooking, but this story is about more than just food. It's about family, fun, and a big surprise. Our story is about the Thompson family. The family consisted of Mr. and Mrs. Thompson, their two children, Lily and Max, and the heart of their home, Grandpa Tom. Grandpa Tom was an amazing cook. He could make the tastiest soups, the fluffiest pancakes, and the sweetest pies. Every weekend, the whole family would gather in the kitchen to enjoy his delicious meals. One day, the town announced a big cooking contest. "I think I'll enter," Grandpa Tom said with a smile. Lily and Max cheered. "We'll help you," they said. Grandpa Tom's heart started to beat faster. Could he win the contest? Could his family's help make his cooking even better? Let's find out about Grandpa Tom's adventure in the cooking contest. We will read his story in chapters. Each chapter will be short and easy to understand. We will learn new words and see how Grandpa Tom and his family face fun challenges and exciting surprises. Are you ready? Let's discover. Chapter 1. The Grandpa's Cooking Contest, a Family Adventure. Once upon a time, in a cozy little town named Willowbrook, there lived a kind and cheerful family. The family consisted of Mr. and Mrs. Thompson, their two children, Lily and Max, and the heart of their home, Grandpa Tom. Grandpa Tom was a man with a warm smile, a twinkle in his eye, and a passion for cooking that brought the whole family together. Every weekend, the Thompson family would gather in the kitchen, and Grandpa Tom would teach them how to make his famous dishes. From his secret recipe for chocolate chip cookies to his mouth-watering homemade spaghetti, each meal was a delightful adventure. The kitchen was always filled with the aroma of fresh ingredients, the clinking of pots and pans, and the sound of laughter and stories being shared. One sunny Saturday morning, as the family was enjoying a hearty breakfast, Grandpa Tom announced a special event. "Kids, how about we have a cooking contest this weekend?" he suggested, his eyes sparkling with excitement. Lily and Max, who were always eager to learn new recipes, jumped up from their seats, their faces lighting up with enthusiasm. "What kind of contest, Grandpa?" Lily asked, her eyes wide with curiosity. "Well," Grandpa Tom began, "we'll each pick a dish to cook, and then we'll all taste and vote on the best one. The winner gets a special prize." Max, who was always up for a challenge, clapped his hands. "That sounds awesome, Grandpa. What's the prize?" Grandpa Tom smiled mischievously. "The winner gets to choose what we make for dinner next week, and I'll help them prepare it." Lily and Max exchanged excited glances. This was a golden opportunity to show off their cooking skills and, more importantly, to spend quality time with their beloved grandpa. Mrs. Thompson, who was always supportive of family activities, chimed in, "That's a wonderful idea, Tom. It will be a fun way to bond and learn more about cooking together." Mr. Thompson, who was usually busy with work, nodded in agreement. "I'm in, too. It's been a while since I've had the chance to cook something special for the family." And so, the Grandpa's Cooking Contest was officially set for the following weekend. The kitchen was abuzz with excitement, and everyone was eager to start planning their dishes. Little did they know, this cooking contest would turn into an unforgettable adventure filled with laughter, surprises, and a whole lot of love. Chapter 2. The family's excitement and preparations. The week leading up to the Grandpa's Cooking Contest was filled with a mix of anticipation and excitement. Lily and Max spent their afternoons brainstorming ideas and flipping through cookbooks, determined to find the perfect dish to impress their family. Mrs. Thompson, who was always organized, created a schedule to ensure everyone had enough time to prepare their ingredients and recipes. Mr. Thompson, although busy with work, made a point to join in the fun, often popping into the kitchen to offer advice and share his own cooking tips. Lily, who had a sweet tooth, decided to focus on a dessert. She pored over her favorite baking book, her eyes scanning the pages for the perfect recipe. After much deliberation, she settled on a classic chocolate cake with a raspberry coulis. "I love how chocolate and raspberries complement each other," she told Max, her eyes shining with excitement. "It's going to be so yummy." Max, on the other hand, was more adventurous. He wanted to create something that would really stand out. After flipping through several cookbooks, he found a recipe for homemade pizza with a twist, a barbecue chicken and pineapple topping. "It's a bit unusual, but I think it will be really tasty," he said, his voice filled with confidence. "And it's something we can all enjoy together." Mrs. Thompson, who was a master of comfort food, decided to make her famous mac and cheese. "It's a classic for a reason," she explained to the kids. "It's creamy, comforting, and always a hit with everyone." She spent the week gathering the best ingredients, from the sharp cheddar cheese to the rich and creamy milk. Mr. Thompson, who was usually more hands-off in the kitchen, was determined to surprise the family. He chose to make a dish that was both elegant and easy to prepare: garlic butter shrimp. "It's simple, but it's always a crowd pleaser," he said, his eyes twinkling with a hint of mischief. "I think it's the perfect dish to show off a little bit." As the week progressed, the kitchen became a hive of activity. Lily practiced her baking techniques, carefully measuring out ingredients and perfecting her frosting skills. Max experimented with different pizza toppings, trying to find the perfect combination of flavors. Mrs. Thompson tested her mac and cheese recipe, adjusting the seasoning and cooking time to get it just right. Mr. Thompson, in his spare moments, practiced his shrimp preparation, making sure the garlic butter sauce was just the right consistency. The family's excitement was palpable. They talked about the contest at dinner, during car rides, and even during their nightly bedtime stories. Mrs. Thompson made a list of all the necessary ingredients, and they all went grocery shopping together, filling their cart with fresh produce, dairy, and spices. On the eve of the contest, the family gathered in the kitchen, the air thick with anticipation. Grandpa Tom, who was the judge, sat at the table, a notepad and pen in hand. "Remember, the most important thing is to have fun," he reminded everyone. "We're all winners just by being together." Lily, Max, Mrs. Thompson, and Mr. Thompson nodded, their hearts racing with excitement. They were ready to show off their culinary skills and create a memorable family experience. As the clock struck the hour, Grandpa Tom clapped his hands together. "Let's get cooking." Chapter 3. The cooking begins. A kitchen full of laughter and learning. The kitchen was a bustling hive of activity as the family got to work. The air was filled with the delightful scents of baking chocolate, sizzling shrimp, and melting cheese. Grandpa Tom, who was the judge, watched with a proud smile as everyone dove into their tasks with enthusiasm and determination. Lily, armed with her favorite baking book, set up her workstation at the far end of the kitchen. She carefully measured out the flour, sugar, and cocoa powder, her hands moving with precision. "I need to make sure everything is just right," she said, her brow furrowed in concentration. She mixed the ingredients in a large bowl, humming a cheerful tune as she worked. Max, who was always eager to try new things, was busy rolling out the pizza dough. He had chosen a large, flat surface to work on, and he was determined to get the dough just the right thickness. "I think it's too thin," he said, holding up a piece of dough and squinting at it. "What do you think, Dad?" Mr. Thompson, who was prepping the shrimp, looked over and chuckled. "It looks perfect to me, Max. But if you want, you can add a little more flour to make it a bit thicker." Max nodded, grateful for the advice, and sprinkled a bit more flour on the dough. He rolled it out again, and this time it was just right. "Thanks, Dad. I think I got it." Mrs. Thompson, who was a seasoned cook, was already halfway through her mac and cheese. She had a large pot of water boiling on the stove, and she was carefully adding the pasta, stirring it gently to prevent it from sticking. "The key is to cook the pasta al dente," she explained to the kids. "It should be tender but still have a bit of bite." Lily, who was listening intently, nodded. "I'll remember that for my next baking project." Mr. Thompson, meanwhile, was sautéing the shrimp in a pan with garlic and butter. The kitchen filled with the aroma of sizzling garlic, and the kids couldn't help but take a deep breath, savoring the smell. "This is going to be delicious," Lily said, her stomach growling in anticipation. Grandpa Tom, who was overseeing the entire operation, chuckled. "It sure is. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. We've got a lot of work to do first." As the family cooked, the kitchen was filled with a mix of laughter and learning. Lily and Max helped each other, sharing tips and tricks they had learned from Grandpa Tom. "Remember, when you're frosting a cake, start from the middle and work your way out," Lily advised Max, who was helping her with the chocolate cake. Max, in turn, showed Lily how to properly slice the pineapple for the pizza. "You want to make sure the slices are thin and even," he said, demonstrating with a sharp knife. "That way, they'll cook evenly and won't be too watery." Mrs. Thompson, who was always a patient teacher, offered guidance and encouragement. "You're both doing a great job," she said, giving Lily and Max a warm smile. "Cooking is all about practice and having fun. Don't worry if something doesn't turn out exactly as you planned." Mr. Thompson, who was usually more reserved, found himself enjoying the hands-on experience. "This is a lot of fun," he admitted, stirring the shrimp with a wooden spoon. "I'm glad we're all doing this together." As the dishes began to take shape, the family's excitement grew. Lily's chocolate cake was rising beautifully in the oven, the smell of fresh-baked goodness filling the kitchen. Max's pizza was in the oven, the cheese bubbling and the toppings sizzling. Mrs. Thompson's mac and cheese was simmering on the stove, the cheese melting into a creamy, golden sauce. Mr. Thompson's shrimp were cooking to perfection, the garlic butter sauce adding a rich, savory flavor. Grandpa Tom, who was the judge, couldn't help but feel a sense of pride. "You all did an amazing job," he said, his eyes twinkling with joy. "I can't wait to taste what you've made." The family's hard work and dedication were evident in the dishes they had prepared. Each one was a labor of love, and the kitchen was a testament to the joy of cooking together. As the timer dinged and the dishes were ready, the family gathered around the table, ready to taste and vote on the best one. Little did they know, the best was yet to come. Chapter 4. The Tasting and Voting. A delightful family affair. The kitchen was a scene of anticipation as the family gathered around the table, each dish looking more delicious than the last. Lily's chocolate cake was a masterpiece, with a smooth, glossy frosting and a vibrant raspberry coulis drizzled on top. Max's pizza was a colorful feast, with perfectly crispy crust, melted mozzarella, and a harmonious blend of barbecue chicken and pineapple. Mrs. Thompson's mac and cheese was a golden, creamy delight, with a crusty top that crackled invitingly. Mr. Thompson's garlic butter shrimp were succulent and fragrant, the garlic and butter creating a rich, savory sauce. Grandpa Tom, who was the judge, stood up and clapped his hands to get everyone's attention. "All right, everyone, it's time to taste and vote," he announced, his eyes twinkling with excitement. "Remember, we're all winners just by being here, but we still need to pick a winner for the special prize." Lily, Max, Mrs. Thompson, and Mr. Thompson nodded, their hearts racing with anticipation. They each took a seat at the table, and Grandpa Tom began the tasting. First up was Lily's chocolate cake. Grandpa Tom took a small piece and placed it on a plate. He took a bite, his eyes closing in bliss as he savored the flavors. This is fantastic, Lily, he exclaimed. The chocolate is rich, and the raspberry coulis is the perfect touch. It's a true masterpiece. Lily beamed with pride, her cheeks flushing with happiness. Thank you, Grandpa. I'm so glad you like it. Next, they moved on to Max's pizza. Grandpa Tom took a slice and bit into it, his face lighting up with delight. Wow, Max, this is amazing, he said, his voice filled with enthusiasm. The crust is just right, and the combination of barbecue chicken and pineapple is so unique and delicious. You've really outdone yourself. Max grinned, his chest swelling with pride. Thanks, Grandpa. I was a little nervous about the pineapple, but it works. Mrs. Thompson's mac and cheese was up next. Grandpa Tom took a spoonful and let it melt in his mouth. This is incredible, dear, he said, his voice filled with admiration. The cheese is perfectly creamy, and the crust is just right. It's a classic for a reason. Mrs. Thompson smiled, her eyes shining with happiness. Thank you, Tom. I'm glad you like it. Finally, it was Mr. Thompson's turn. Grandpa Tom took a piece of shrimp and dipped it in the garlic butter sauce. Oh, this is wonderful, John, he said, his voice filled with genuine appreciation. The shrimp are perfectly cooked, and the garlic butter sauce is just the right balance of rich and savory. You've really surprised us all. Mr. Thompson smiled, a rare look of pride on his face. Thanks, Dad. I'm glad you enjoyed it. With all the dishes tasted, it was time for the family to vote. Grandpa Tom handed out slips of paper and pencils. Everyone write down the dish they think is the best, and we'll tally the votes, he instructed. Lily, Max, Mrs. Thompson, and Mr. Thompson each wrote down their choice and handed the slips to Grandpa Tom. He carefully read each one and tallied the votes. The kitchen was filled with a mix of excitement and nervous anticipation as they waited for the results. Finally, Grandpa Tom cleared his throat and announced the winner. And the winner of the Grandpa's cooking contest is Max's barbecue chicken and pineapple pizza. Max's eyes widened in surprise, and he jumped up from his seat, a wide grin spreading across his face. Really? I won, he exclaimed, his voice filled with disbelief and joy. Lily, Mrs. Thompson, and Mr. Thompson clapped and cheered, congratulating Max on his well-deserved win. You deserve it, Max, Lily said, giving him a high five. Your pizza was amazing. Mrs. Thompson smiled warmly. I'm so proud of all of you. You all did an incredible job, and we had a wonderful time together. Mr. Thompson nodded, his eyes twinkling with pride. This was a fantastic experience, and I can't wait to see what you all cook next. Grandpa Tom, who was beaming with happiness, wrapped his arms around the family in a big hug. You all did so well, and I'm so proud of you. But the real prize is the time we spent together and the memories we made. The family hugged tightly, their hearts filled with love and gratitude. The kitchen, which had been a hive of activity just moments ago, now felt warm and cozy, a testament to the joy of cooking and the strength of family bonds. As they sat down to enjoy the delicious feast they had prepared, the family couldn't help but feel a sense of accomplishment and happiness. The Grandpa's cooking contest had not only brought them closer together, but had also taught them valuable lessons about teamwork, creativity, and the joy of sharing a meal with loved ones. Chapter 5: The Aftermath, a night of celebration and reflection. As the family finished their delicious meal, the kitchen was filled with a warm, contented silence. The dishes were cleared, and the table was set with dessert plates. Lily's chocolate cake, which had received a runner-up vote, was now the star of the show. The family gathered around, savoring the rich, moist cake and the sweet, tangy raspberry coulis. Grandpa Tom, who was always the master of ceremonies, stood up and raised his glass. "To a wonderful day and a fantastic cooking contest," he said, his voice filled with warmth. "I'm so proud of each and every one of you. You all did an amazing job, and we created some truly special memories today." Lily, Max, Mrs. Thompson, and Mr. Thompson all raised their glasses, their faces lit with smiles. "To the best family day ever," they chorused, clinking their glasses together. After dessert, the family settled into the living room, the warm glow of the fireplace casting a cozy light over the room. They shared stories and laughter, reliving the highlights of the day. Lily recounted the moment when Max's pizza crust nearly stuck to the pan, and Max laughed, remembering how they had both panicked until Mrs. Thompson came to the rescue with a bit of extra flour. Mrs. Thompson smiled, her eyes twinkling with amusement. "I'm glad we could all work together and have a little fun in the process. That's what family is all about." Mr. Thompson, who was usually more reserved, found himself opening up more than usual. "I have to admit, I was a bit nervous about cooking in front of everyone," he said, a hint of a smile on his face. "But it was so much fun, and I'm really proud of what we all accomplished." Lily, who was always full of ideas, had a twinkle in her eye. "We should do this more often. Maybe we can have a different theme each time, like a Mexican night or an Italian night. It would be so much fun to learn new recipes together." Max nodded enthusiastically. "I'm in. We could even invite some friends over and make it a bigger event. It would be awesome to share what we've learned with others." Grandpa Tom, who had been listening with a smile, clapped his hands together. "That's a wonderful idea, Lily. We could make it a monthly tradition. It's a great way to bond and learn new things together." Mrs. Thompson nodded in agreement. "I think it's a fantastic idea. It will give us all something to look forward to and a chance to try new things." As the night wore on, the family continued to talk and laugh, their bond growing stronger with each passing moment. They talked about future cooking projects, shared old family recipes, and even planned a trip to the farmer's market to find fresh, local ingredients for their next adventure. Finally, as the clock struck a late hour, the family said their goodnights, their hearts full of love and gratitude. Lily and Max hugged their parents and Grandpa Tom tightly, their faces glowing with happiness. "I love you, everyone," Lily said, her voice filled with warmth. "I love you too, sweetie," Mrs. Thompson replied, giving her a gentle kiss on the forehead. Mr. Thompson ruffled Max's hair. "Good night, champ. You did a great job today." Grandpa Tom, who was always the last to leave, stood in the doorway, his eyes filled with pride. "I'm so grateful to be a part of this family," he said, his voice choked with emotion. "You all make my heart so full. Good night and sweet dreams." As the family drifted off to sleep, the house was filled with a sense of peace and contentment. The Grandpa's cooking contest had not only brought them closer together, but had also taught them valuable lessons about teamwork, creativity, and the joy of sharing a meal with loved ones. The memories of that special day would stay with them for a lifetime, a testament to the power of family and the magic of cooking together. Chapter 6. The impact of the cooking contest on the family. The Grandpa's cooking contest had a profound impact on the Thompson family, touching each member in unique and meaningful ways. For Lily, the contest was a confidence booster. She had always been a bit shy, but the experience of creating her chocolate cake and receiving positive feedback from her family gave her a sense of pride and accomplishment. She realized that her culinary skills were just as valuable as anyone else's, and this newfound confidence spilled over into other areas of her life. She became more willing to try new things, both in the kitchen and at school, and her self-assurance grew with each passing day. Max, on the other hand, discovered a new passion for cooking. Winning the contest with his barbecue chicken and pineapple pizza was a thrilling moment, but it was the process of creating something unique and delicious that truly captured his heart. He began to experiment with different recipes and ingredients, often surprising the family with his culinary creations. His enthusiasm was contagious, and he often found himself teaching his siblings and parents new techniques and tips. Max's creativity in the kitchen not only brought the family closer together, but also opened up a new world of possibilities for him. Mrs. Thompson, who was always a supportive and nurturing presence, found a renewed sense of joy in cooking. The contest reminded her of the early days of her marriage, when she and Mr. Thompson would often cook together and share their love for food. The experience reignited her passion for trying new recipes and experimenting with different cuisines. She started a family cookbook, documenting all the dishes they had created together and adding new ones as they continued their cooking adventures. The cookbook became a cherished family heirloom, a tangible reminder of the love and laughter that filled their kitchen. Mr. Thompson, who was usually busy with work, discovered a new appreciation for the simple pleasures of life. The contest allowed him to step away from his professional responsibilities and reconnect with his family on a deeper level. Cooking together became a way for him to bond with his children and wife, and he found that the time spent in the kitchen was some of the most rewarding and fulfilling moments of his life. He started to prioritize family activities more, making an effort to be present and engaged in their lives. The cooking contest was a turning point, reminding him that the most important things in life are often the simplest. For Grandpa Tom, the contest was a beautiful way to pass on his love for cooking and his family values. He had always been a mentor and a guide, and the contest allowed him to share his knowledge and wisdom with the younger generation. Seeing his family come together, laugh, and learn from each other filled his heart with joy. He realized that the legacy he was leaving behind was not just in the recipes he taught, but in the memories and traditions he helped create. The contest reinforced his belief in the power of family and the importance of passing down traditions. The Grandpa's cooking contest had a ripple effect on the entire family, strengthening their bonds and creating a sense of unity and purpose. It wasn't just about the food. It was about the time spent together, the lessons learned, and the memories created. The contest became a cherished tradition, one that the family looked forward to each month, eagerly planning their next culinary adventure. It was a reminder that the simplest moments can be the most meaningful, and that the love and support of family are the greatest ingredients of all. Chapter 7: The Grandpa's Cooking Contest, a Timeless Tradition. The Grandpa's Cooking Contest became a beloved tradition in the Thompson family, one that continued to bring them closer together with each passing year. As the seasons changed and the children grew older, the monthly contests evolved, but the spirit of the event remained the same. Lily, who had once been a shy baker, blossomed into a confident young chef, often leading the family in new and exciting culinary adventures. Max, the adventurous pizza maker, developed a passion for international cuisines, introducing the family to dishes from around the world. Mrs. Thompson's cookbook grew thicker with each passing year, filled with recipes and memories that spanned generations. Mr. Thompson, who had rediscovered the joy of cooking, became a more present and engaged father, always ready to lend a helping hand in the kitchen. Grandpa Tom, the heart and soul of the family, continued to be the guiding force behind the contests. His wisdom and encouragement were a constant source of inspiration, and his presence in the kitchen was a reminder of the love and tradition that bound the family together. Each contest was a celebration of their bond, a chance to create new memories and pass down cherished recipes. As the years went by, the family's cooking skills improved, and their creativity knew no bounds. They explored new ingredients, techniques, and flavors, always eager to learn and grow together. The kitchen became a place of laughter, learning, and love, a sanctuary where they could escape the stresses of daily life and focus on the simple joy of being together. The Grandpa's Cooking Contest was more than just a monthly event. It was a way of life. It taught the family the value of teamwork, the importance of perseverance, and the joy of sharing a meal with loved ones. It was a reminder that the most meaningful moments are often the simplest, and that the love and support of family are the greatest ingredients of all. And so, the tradition continued, a testament to the enduring power of family and the magic of cooking together. The Thompsons looked forward to each contest with eager anticipation, knowing that no matter what the future held, they would always have each other and the memories they created in the kitchen. The Grandpa's Cooking Contest was a legacy that would be passed down for generations, a timeless tradition that would continue to bring the family closer and closer, one delicious dish at a time.